Now, it's called Plan C. When Plan C was introduced, and it's called Plan C because there was a Plan A and there was a Plan B. Both were rejected. And so we came upon Plan C. Now, it's called Plan C. So when Plan C was introduced, and it's okay. So it was called Plan C, and it was rejected. Now, it was rejected, and so it cannot be included at this time. It cannot be included in the Build Back Better law. Now, where do we go from here? The Senate, there have been calls to still move forward, even though the Senate parliamentarian has rejected the bill. They have said some people are calling for the bill in order for them to vote on the bill, regardless of the Senate parliamentarian's decision, because her decision is not binding. And so they're saying that the Democrats in the Senate should still move forward and vote for this immigration relief to continue to be implemented. However, one of the senators have already commented, and they've said that though they're disappointed, they don't believe that they're going to make any further proposals. We don't know whether that means that they are going to move forward with the Plan C despite the rejection, or whether they're going to leave it out of the bill altogether. Now, I want to remind you that I'm here to give you this immigration update, but I'm also here to answer your questions. So if you have any immigration related questions that you would like to put in the comments, go ahead and put your questions in the comments. I am monitoring the comments, and as soon as your questions come in, I will start to answer them. But tonight I am talking about, I'm giving you an update. And the update is that there was an immigration proposal, and a form of immigration relief that was proposed in the Build Back Better spending bill. If you've been watching the news, you've been seeing that this has been working its way through the Congress. It passed the House with the immigration bill. The immigration provision in the bill, and it went on to Senate. But before it went for the vote, the Senate parliamentarian had to evaluate whether the immigration proposal was related to any kind of spending or revenues to be able to be included in this spending bill. And once again, she has stated that she's rejecting this immigration relief because she's saying it's too big of a change, or too big of a policy change to be included in a revenue or spending bill. And so it would outweigh any kind of budgetary impact. And so, in a nutshell, she has said that it can't move forward, right? This is a Senate parliamentarian who is there to examine certain proposals in a bill to make sure that it does belong in that bill. And the Senate parliamentarian has tonight rejected that immigration relief. And so it's not the news that I wanted to give you. I was hoping that I would be able to give you better news about relief for undocumented immigrants. But unfortunately, we are at a point where we have to keep an eye on the situation just to see if they do propose something else, or even if they decide to move forward with the bill. All right, so let's see here. So how would you know if your receipt date has passed? To move forward. Okay. So Your receipt date, how would you know if your receipt date has passed? So, um, the receipt date is it. So I don't know with the receipt date. It's when you got the date that you got the receipt. So you'd have to check with the immigration service to see if they received your application, and whether they have sent out the receipt notice. Because the receipt date you would know the receipt date based on looking at your receipt notice. That's the notice that you get after applying. If you're talking about the priority date, so I think you're referring to the priority date. And the way that you can tell if the priority date has passed is by going to the National Visa Bulletin. And then if you scroll down to the category under which you're applying, you'll see the date that they're currently processing, and you'll be able to see if yours is before. If it is before that date, then it has passed. If it's not, if it hasn't come yet, then it hasn't passed. So Kabongos, so 2022 will be 2008 test or 2020 civics test. So it's a 2008. So it's gone back to the 2008. Is it advisable to apply for advanced parole on the U visa status? So MAMTA, you have to get legal advice about that. Usually advanced parole isn't automatically granted to a U visa applicant, and it really comes down to what your situation is, what are your circumstances. So schedule a consultation to get personal legal advice. If you are a green card holder, I think if you are a green card holder, can you sponsor someone who is in the country in legal? I think, is that illegal or illegal? So if they're in legal status, then so permanent residents can only apply for their spouse, their children who are unmarried, whether they're under 21 or 21 or over, nobody else. And if they're in legal status at the time that they have an immigrant visa number available to them, that means that they could very well be able to adjust status in the United States. So it is possible, but it really comes down to what's the current status of your relative? Who is your relative? Do they qualify to be sponsored by you? And then at that point, we could evaluate your options. So go ahead, schedule a consultation. Now you can go ahead and schedule a consultation by going to the website. On TikTok, this is the link in my bio. It is www.stlawoffice.com. You could go there and you'll see different ways to get in touch. All three ways. So the online chat, the phone number, the contact form lead to the scheduling coordinator, who will then put you on my schedule. All right. So let's see. If I overstay my time in America, how can I attend university? So now if a university is not necessarily a situation where you'll need status, but you'd have to check with the university on their policies regarding residency, and in regards to what you need to show. But universities don't usually, if you can pay for your own education, then it's a situation where you may be categorized as an out-of-state student, but you would be able to attend that way. However, getting a student visa after an overstay may not be possible, but it depends on how long did you overstay, or what's your situation. Did you have a student visa before, and did you overstay that visa? So that's where you should definitely schedule a consultation to determine your options. So let me see. After I became a US citizen, how long can I petition my parents? You can petition right away. All right. So if a green card sponsors someone who is legal, is they go to back home for interviews. So it may be possible to so it may be possible to apply for adjustment of status if they can maintain legal status at the time that they are that they're applying. But it really depends on who is this green card holder sponsoring. So Sahara, that's where you need to schedule a consultation. Because if the person is in legal status, they qualify through a green card holder petitioner, then it may very well be possible. So let's see. All right, so keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So go ahead and put those questions in the comments. All right, so I have been talking about the proposal. So there's a proposed plan. So it's called Plan C. It was immigration relief that was in the Build Back Better provision. It has been rejected by who's called the Senate parliamentarian, who was there to make a decision about whether it could be included in this bill in the first place, and she rejected it. So unfortunately, we are looking at we're not we're I'm watching the situation, but they currently don't have any plans right now to have a plan D or to move forward. I'm going to keep an eye on the situation, and then I will give you further information as more becomes available to me. But what I do want to talk about is a situation where somebody who is here can fix their status, because we're right now, because that proposal, Plan C proposal, has been rejected. I still am here to help individuals who are undocumented fix their status through the available immigration laws. And one of those laws is to get what's called a waiver. So if you are here and you are unable to qualify for adjustment of status, you are here and you're unable to apply, stay in the US and apply, right? But at the same time, you're unable to leave, because if you leave, you will be inadmissible to come back to the United States. In that case, what do you do? And there may be a solution, and that solution is called the I-601a waiver. This waiver, while it does not allow you to get a work permit or stay here in the United States, what it does allow is for you to be able to get permission, so get forgiveness for the overstay, and then be able to go to your home country, attend the interview, and not have that overstay held against you. So you could stay here while your application is pending. You could stay here while you're applying for the waiver, while you wait for your interview to be scheduled. And then as soon as your interview is scheduled and you have an approved waiver, you could go to the interview at the embassy. So for example, if you're from Jamaica, then you choose to go back to Jamaica to do the interview there, you would fly to Jamaica about 2 weeks before your interview. Make sure you sufficiently prepare for the interview, and then attend the interview. All being well, once the officer indicates that you're going to be approved, you wait for your immigrant visa to be stamped, and then within a few weeks after getting your passport, you'd be able to travel back to the United States. Now, it is a solution for those who you don't. So for some individuals, there is no other option, because you may be only certain individuals qualify to stay here and adjust status, and that really comes down to who your relatives are, and what are your circumstances. If none of those fit to stay here and apply, then the I-601a waiver would be that next option. Now, who qualifies though for the I-601a waiver? Because then again, not everyone qualifies. Now, the people that qualify will be those who don't qualify for adjustment of status, but at the same time, they have a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, spouse or parent who will experience extreme hardship if you don't get the green card. I like to explain it this way. If your parent or your spouse they're so dependent on you that if you don't get the green card, something devastating will happen within their own life, then that could very well qualify as an extreme hardship for your U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, spouse or parent. No, in addition to that, the unlawful presence or the overstay would have to be the only immigration violation that renders you inadmissible. So if you have, for example, misrepresentation or fraud, as for example, if you came into the United States and you came in with a fake passport, or you while you were coming in, you may have told some untruths to the officers, then that could be considered misrepresentation. And that would mean that this I-601a waiver would not necessarily be for you. So you would have to make sure you get legal advice to determine what your options are. I am in B2 visa and have applied for an extension of stay. Can I stay while waiting, or it overstays? So I don't know your situation, Colin Swazi. And so it's hard. I would not be able to advise you directly. Remember, the information here that I'm giving is general information. It is not legal advice that is tailored specifically for you. But what I will say is, generally speaking, if you do apply, you properly apply for an extension of your B2 visa stay, then you would be able to stay past the time that if they have not made a decision. And then you'd be able to do that up until 240 days. And then if they have not made a decision by then at that point, that would be the limit. So it's not limitless, right? Because it's very backed up. It's taking people even a year and a half later, they're just getting biometrics for this extension of stay. So it's very backed up. And so even though they're taking a very long time to make decisions, it is not limitless. You have up until a point to stay. And even if you don't get a decision, it is at that point that you either have to apply for another extension or you have to leave the country. What is going on with the work permits? I know, so they are taking very long. It's backed up. The COVID has made it worse. And then in addition to that, they have a big volume of applications. So it is just backed up. Colin Swazi, you're welcome. All right. So I want to remind you that I'm here to answer your immigration questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments. I am both on YouTube and I'm both on TikTok. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments, and then I will answer your questions. Hi there, Lois Fabian, it's nice to see you. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments and I will answer your questions. I came with a topic. The topic the first thing I wanted to do was break the news to you. That so there was a proposed form of immigration relief that was included in the Build Back Better bill. And this has now been rejected, this called Plan C, by the Senate parliamentarian. This is the person that's in charge of making sure that everything that's in the bill is in fact belongs in that bill. And she rejected it. And so right now I'm trying to keep an eye on it to see what can be done, or what will be done. Well, how will they follow up with this? So we have a question here, and it's can I please get the code? I am an immigrant from Mexico. So I don't know what code you are referring to. So can you be more specific, fangirl? All right. So about the EIN number. So EIN is a completely separate thing from immigration. The EIN number does not provide any kind of immigration benefits. The EIN number is it's really the employment identification number. And it's the number that employers use for business purposes. And so getting an EIN number is not going to necessarily help you. It may help with taxes, business, banking, and other types of business processes, such as entity creation, but it's not going to provide you any immigration relief. So keep those questions coming. I am both on YouTube and I am on TikTok. So put your questions in the comments. I'm watching the comments. And so I'm watching the comments. So go ahead, fangirl, just type your question right there in the comments. I'm seeing all your comments. So just put your questions in the comments and I will be able to answer you right here on YouTube. All right, so keep those questions coming. Is there any other way I can get an ITIN without being ready to file taxes, like getting it before? So yes, so there are tax assistance agents that would be able to assist you. Hi there, Dark Horse 45, it's nice to see you. That would be able to assist you with getting an ITIN number. So you can go to the IRS website and you can, and if you go to tax offices, they may be able to help you or refer you to an individual that can help you with that process. All right, so hi there. I am doing good, Amanda. It's nice to see you too. And thanks for checking in. Nick, you are welcome. So other than marriage, what are the other ways to get a green card? So laws, Fabian. There are multiple ways, right? It just depends on whether you qualify, but you can get it through other family members, a parent, son or citizen, son or daughter 21 and up. So through the parent, citizen, son or daughter 21 and up, even a sibling, even though that is very long, but if you're willing to wait that long, there's that option. Through employment, and there are different types of employment applications, and through humanitarian. So it just depends on how you qualify. If my rule of thumb here is if you have US, if you have a US employer who wants to apply for you, then you should definitely go ahead and schedule a consultation. Now, one thing I do want to let you know is if you have an employer who's willing to apply for you to get permanent residence or get a visa here, the employer has to be involved and they should get the consultation. So they should be 100% involved, because more than likely they're going to be the ones that apply for you. But there are also self-petitions, and the self-petitions are for individuals who are, so they are for individuals who are, who have exceptional talent or extraordinary talent. So you, in whatever field you're in, so it's very broad, right? It could be science, it could be arts, it could be education, it could be business, it could be athletics. If you are at the top of your field in any one of these areas, then you could self-petition for yourself to get permanent residence. There are a number of pieces of evidence, so a total of 10 that you have to show. If you show 3 out of the 10, you could very well obtain permanent residence. So some of these evidence would be if you've won international awards, national awards, if you're renowned in your field, if you have publications, if you've been featured in publications, if you're being paid more than the average because of how good you are, if you were on a panel, if you are a part of a selective organization because of your talent, because of your expertise, if you have been if you yourself have written publication, so if you've been published, if you've written publications, so those are, if you could show 3 out of 10, so there are 10 total, you could possibly get your green card, and you don't need an employer in this case. What they usually want to see is that you are talented in this field and that you are coming to the United States to continue that work in the United States. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Lovebug, thanks for the share. And Nikane K, and so Nikane K, I think. Thank you so much for the compliment, and I'm glad that is informative, because that is why I'm here. I'm here to provide you information. So, Lost Fabian, you're welcome. So if anything strikes you as interests you, you should schedule a consultation. Now, the way that you can schedule a consultation is by going to www.stlawoffice.com. So I am going to go ahead and just put it in the comments. But on TikTok, it's very easy. You can just go to the link in my bio, and it's going to take you to the website so when you go to the link in my bio, you will see, so you're going to see the chat, the online chat. You're going to see the form. You're going to see the phone number. Thanks so much for the roles. Any one of those 3 are going to lead to the scheduling coordinator, who will then help you to get on my schedule. It is the holidays. It is hectic. It's getting busy. My calendar is filling up. What you should definitely do is schedule a consultation now. I am also going to make a link available to book your own consultations, especially while I'm out. That option will be there as well. So I'm in UAE and I want to migrate to state. How do I go about that? So coffee despite, it really depends on how you qualify. Do you qualify through an employer? Do you have a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, parent, citizen son or daughter who's 21 and up, or a U.S. citizen sibling? Those could possibly be a path, but keep in mind some are shorter than others. For example, the sibling applying for you, a U.S. citizen sibling, could take a minimum of 14 years. And for example, in Mexico, it's 22 years. No. The next is through, so that's through employer, through family, through humanitarian. Usually if you're here already in the US, humanitarian means that, hi there, humanitarian means that you need relief because of a crisis in your country, because you're afraid to return to your country, because you've been the victim of a crime here, or you've been the victim of trafficking here. All right, so I am going to go ahead and call it a night, but this does not have to be the end of the conversation. I am hopping on over to Instagram right now. I have a scheduled live there, so I'm going to hop on over there. The Instagram is the same as here, the immigration attorney, and it's the conversation is just like we're having here. So if you want to continue to ask your questions, go to the link in my bio, click on the Instagram button. It will take you to Instagram. You can follow me there. As a matter of fact, I post videos throughout the day there. So you will get updates, you will get tips, you will get various information about different options throughout the day. And I also repost my lives there. So as soon as I'm finished there with a live, it's gonna be posted on Instagram. So go ahead, join me right now on Instagram. I'm heading on over there where we can continue this conversation. If I don't see you in a minute, I hope to see you tomorrow on TikTok around 9 p.m. or in a consultation. So have a good one. Okay, Lost Fabian, definitely get in touch. Just go to the link in my bio and it will take you to the website. You'll see how to get in touch. A scheduling coordinator is available up until 11 p.m. tonight. Have a good night. I hope to see you in a minute. Bye-bye.